resting in her cozy new leaf nest. She had built it using pretty fallen leaves and the dry cedar bark of nearby trees. The bottom was sturdy with twigs and branches. Bits of newspaper lined Pearl's new home. It would be warm come winter. She was proud of her first nest. As Pearl dozed in the warm autumn afternoon, she had an idea. A party! A housewarming party to celebrate her first home. Pearl scampered down her tree trunk, fluffy tail high in the air, and headed into the woods. She wanted to invite everyone over for a celebration. She found the Deerheart family drinking along the banks of the forest stream. They said in their soft deer way that they would be pleased to attend Pearl's party. Next, she discovered her best friend, Mason the Beaver. Pearl told him all about the party. Mason stopped chewing his aspen limb long enough to say he would gladly be there. Deep in the forest, Pearl came upon Marilyn Rabbit and her baby bunnies, all nibbling wild plum branches. They wiggled their noses in delight and accepted the invitation. Next, Pearl found Maurice the skunk under a red maple tree. He said he could take time off for something as important as a housewarming party at Pearl's first home. Pearl knew the most difficult friend to find would be Spike the porcupine. Spike slept during most of the day and came out at night. He could be anywhere. He could be sleeping in a tree, resting in one of his dens, or rolled up in a pile of grass and weeds. Pearl finally found Spike and woke him gently so his quills wouldn't prick her. Spike said he would wander over after his snooze. Pearl needed party food for everyone. She worked until the sun set over the forest. Delicious berries, nuts, roots, and mushrooms soon filled Pearl's new nest. Mrs. Deerheart and her deer family were the first to arrive for the party. Oh no! They couldn't climb her tree. Dear, dear, what kind of home is this? Asked Mrs. Deerheart, nose in the air. Our home is much better, my dear, much better. We just snuggle down under the trees or bushes of the forest. No climbing trees or gathering leaves for us. Next came Marilyn Rabbit, trailing 6 baby bunnies behind her. Nearsighted Maurice the skunk followed the path beaten down by Marilyn and her brood. They couldn't get up into Pearl's tree home either. They gazed up at her beautiful leaf home and admired the job she had done. They politely thanked Pearl as they left, but whispered, "Our homes are far better." Pearl heard them whispering and began to think she hadn't done such a good job. Surely Mason, the best buddy a squirrel could ever have, would love her home. But when Mason waddled up, he said, "Come with me and see how a real house is built." She followed him slowly down to the river. Mason slipped into the water and reappeared among a pile of gnawed tree branches plastered together with mud from the bottom of the river. "Isn't this lodge just swell?" asked Mason as he plunked down. "I'm sure it is," sighed Pearl, "but I don't have webbed hind feet or a flat tail. I can't swim nearly as well as you." Pearl grew very sad. She went back and snuggled down in the velvety warmth of her leaf nest, but could not sleep. How could she have been so wrong? The sun set over the forest, covering the treetops like a patchwork quilt. A scratchy sound came closer and closer. Spike! Surely he would like Pearl's home high up in the hickory tree. "This is nice," admitted Spike, "but why settle for just one home? I have many places in the forest to rest. You should try it, Pearl. It's the only way to live." Spike climbed down the tree and began his nighttime search for dinner. Pearl was sadder than ever. None of her forest friends thought she had a good home. Suddenly, she heard a soft voice calling her name. She spied Solomon Raven, the wisest bird in the woods, perched in the hickory tree. His sharp claws, pointed beak, and loud caw, caw, cawing made most forest animals stay out of his way. But Pearl knew his frightening ways were mostly for show. She and Solomon shared this tree. Solomon even allowed Pearl to call him Sol, his nickname. "Are you calling me Sol?" asked Pearl. "Yes," replied Solomon. "I heard you had a party today." "I did," sighed Pearl. "But some of my friends couldn't make it up to see my nest. and all of them think their houses are better than mine." "Well, they are better," said Saul. His eyes reflected the golden glow of the autumn moonlight. "Better for them. You see, Pearl, each animal makes a home that suits them best. It's called their habitat. Every habitat is different, and everyone is special. Mrs. Deerheart needs both shelter and open spaces. Marilyn and Maurice sleep in little earthy dens. Could you do that?" "No," cried Pearl, "but Spike and Mason seem so sure their homes are best too." "Would you be able to sleep just about anywhere in the woods?" asked Sol. "Could you patch holes in your house using your tail to plaster the mud smooth?" "No, I wouldn't. I couldn't," said Pearl, beginning to understand. Sol cawed softly, settled down, and listened to the sounds of the woods. "Feel how perfect your leafy nest is for you. This is your own habitat, Pearl, your own special squirrel place." Pearl sank into the leaves, felt the darkness around her. Sol murmured his gentle caw, caw, caws. Pearl felt snug and happy high up in the hickory tree. Sol was right. She did have a good home. She had a home that was best for her.